Howdy folks, this video here is all about context. It's about figuring out what things mean in the context of other things around it. Specifically, what we're going to be looking at is using context clues to help us identify the meanings of words or phrases within a passage of text. So an example of this would be question 8 on our pretest, where Martin Luther King uses the term tranquilizing drug to emphasize something. And about 64% of students got that right. So I've got a good feeling about this particular lesson. So what we can do, we'll start off with some strategies that you can use to help identify terms that you may not initially know what they mean. So if I just looked at this without any context and I said, what does tranquilizing drug mean? You'd be like, I don't know, a tranquilizer? It's like what they put horses to sleep with. That is not what he's talking about, right? So we'd have to look at the rest of the passage to do some of these. And some things you can look at are by making an inference, so draw some conclusions. Based on what we see around it, what could this thing mean? Sometimes words or phrases have another definition right next to them, or similarly phrased ideas pop up in the same document or same paragraph, maybe even the same sentence. We can look for those. Sometimes they're explained with an example. Sometimes they're explained with what it is not like. So like a tranquilizing drug is not this. And that could help us identify and define what tranquilizing drug means. Or it could be with a synonym. So a tranquilizing drug is blank. There's a great Khan Academy video that I'd love for you to check out. It's like 4 minutes. So you can pause this video and watch this one. It's linked on my Google Slides. And it goes through examples of each one of these strategies that you can use to help you identify word meanings in context. So give that a shot. Did you do it? I hope so. All right, so let's use some examples here. So we're going to look at this tranquilizing drug. Well, we've got this paragraph from King, and he says, this is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. So as I'm looking at this, I don't have a definition. I don't think I have an example, but I do have an inference. I know that gradualism, like if something is gradual, that means that it's slowly changing over time. We also have a synonym that says like we can't engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug. So those two things are the similar. And we also have an antonym, like there is a fierce urgency of now, which seems to be in opposition to the idea of a tranquilizing drug. So if we look at that, we can say that a tranquilizing drug means that small shifts, small progressive shifts in equality are not going to be enough. We can't be tranquil in this. We have to be forceful. We have to act now. There is no time, which is exactly what he says. There is no time to engage in either of these things. So using those context clues, I can say tranquilizing drugs means we can't be gradual about this. We need to do something about it now. All right, so here's another one. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood, and sorry as I could be, I could not travel both, and be one traveler. Long I stood and looked down, one as far as I could, to where it bent in the undergrowth. So this is a passage from The Road Less Traveled by Robert Frost, a poem that you'll be reading. And so I want you to try to use some of these ideas to define what does diverge mean, what does undergrowth mean, without looking them up in the dictionary or online. So what does undergrowth mean? Pause and give yourself the best chance, or give yourself a chance to answer this one. All right, did you do it? So let's kind of break this down with the process of elimination. Could it mean the slope of the hill? Maybe, because if I could see a hill bending down. Could it be low-lying branches? Probably not, or branches in the trees? Probably not, because just the term undergrowth makes it seem like it's under the trees. There's no real sense of danger, so my guess this would be low-lying vegetation in a forest. And if we take a picture, or we look at a picture, this is what he's talking about in undergrowth, right? So we've got trees up here, we've got two roads splitting, and here's where Frost is looking down across this path as far as he can to where it bends into the undergrowth, and we can't see it anymore because it's hidden up by all these trees or behind all these shrubs and plants. So using context clues, I can figure out what undergrowth is. Okay, so just as a quick recap, we've got 5 different ways that we can try to identify what something means in the context of a passage. So make sure you have working definitions of these 5 skills that you can have, put those in your notes, and this will help you identify what terms and phrases and sentences mean within the context of a passage. Good luck, folks.